Hey everybody, welcome to the session. Today is June 9, 2022. My name is Jose Blasco and this is the 3-day market commentary. We meet every day, 1 hour before the market starts trading, 1 hour before the bell, and we go over understanding the markets in 3D, which if you're new to the sessions, you will understand better what that means in just a moment. Before we get started, very quickly, I would like to highlight the financial disclaimer on the upper left side of the screen. Please read it carefully. It is important information, and since it's fairly short and it's important, so I'm counting on you to read it completely. So it's being highlighted, and I believe this should have been enough time for you to read it. Very good. So anyway, so let's begin. I'm just gonna close this introduction window, and we are gonna have two elements on our screen, which I would like to explain very quickly. On the left, we have our Newsflash, which is a document that if you'd like to receive in your inbox, you can do that very easily by simply going to our website. I am now highlighting the right link for you to get there, and you can subscribe to it. It's a free newsletter that we send every day. And in that newsletter, you're going to have access to 5 key markets. For example, the S&P, we're going to start with that. And you have market information, which is related to our 3D approach to understanding the markets. So on the right, as you can see, I have the real-time charts. In this case, is the S&P futures, and I have more markets, again, that I'm going to analyze today for you guys. So you get to understand what is the market environment before the market opens. So when it's time to getting into trading, you know better what to expect from a statistical point of view, since the tools that we use for our analysis are all about creating an edge for the traders, which is all about understanding statistics and applying statistics. So 3D approach. Why 3D? Well, because we look at 3 key elements. One of them is going to be the market climate. Second one is going to be the buy and the sell UFOs. If you've never heard that term, that's probably the most important of the terms I will use in today's session. Those are the UFOs. Those are the flying saucers. The green UFOs, the green flying saucers, they represent buy on field orders, UFOs, in case you haven't guessed. And the red flying saucers, they represent sell on field orders. So in other words, knowing where the buy and sell on-field orders are in the market is absolutely key for you to understand market timing, to know when to enter, to know when to exit. You can use it by itself. You can combine it with other methodologies. Whatever that is, it could be long-term, short-term, whatever that is, whatever your style is in trading, hopefully this market commentary, this market analysis will be very helpful to you. And the third D is going to be the market volatility, which has to do with the expected speed of movement. Sometimes certain markets are expected to not to do too much, like the S&P in the recent times has been quite boring. So maybe you want to go and trade something else. And sometimes the markets are really set for very nice moves. And that market volatility, it's certainly a very interesting component. So we're going to start with the first market, which, as you can see, is the S&P 500 futures. On the left, you have a picture of the chart. I'm going to focus on the one on the right, which is a larger size, obviously. And what we can see here, it's first, when it comes to the climate, which I am using a tool called Auto Climate. By the way, you can find that tool available for free on our website. So you can certainly go there and get that tool. As I said, it's free. I am utilizing TradingView in this trading session, so you can take a look. Okay. I'm just highlighting. I just clicked in the wrong place. I just highlighting where you can get the apps I will use in my market analysis here. But again, starting with the climate, you can see that we are dealing with a blue dot. But I would like to highlight as well the fact that that blue dot is a thin dot. It's not a thick dot like this one. It's thin. This means that while the climate is up, and being a buyer carries a statistical advantage at this moment in time, the fact is that this climate is not confirmed, and when the climate is not confirmed, it actually denotes that we don't have a statistical edge on our side. So really, in this particular time frame, this is the daily time frame of the S&P futures, really trading at this moment in time would be just expose yourself to see how lucky you are versus exposing yourself to a more defined market condition based on statistics. So the climate suggests to not to be exposed to the S&P futures, and maybe this changes tomorrow, maybe this changes in a couple of hours, but as we are speaking, this is the reading that we have with market climate. Okay. When it comes to buy and sell prices, so here are your UFOs: 39.97, 35.09. Let me rephrase that: 44.32. Those are the two prices that you want to keep in mind, which is 44.32 and 39.87. So if the S&P falls to this price point, buying would be would be an action that you would take, expecting the price to move up out of this green UFO. When price gets to the red UFO, selling would be the price point where you expect this turning point to the downside. Okay, so again, buying and taking profits, or shorting above and taking profits below. Again, all of those are valid actions depending, of course, on your trading plans. Okay. Market volatility based on the VIX. So we are looking at the options prices, and we are looking at the implied volatility built in the options prices of options on the S&P 500 index. That is currently pointing at 24.07%, and that if we reverse engineer the options pricing models, if you wish, we can now deduct that we are expecting a daily move either up or down of 62 points, or a weekly move either up or down of 137 points, or a monthly move either up or down of 287 points, which is not too bad for the S&P, especially given the fact that the market has been ranging for a while. It seems to me that given the current levels of volatility, 24% on the VIX, there is a certain expectation for a breakout of that range, and therefore an acceleration on price movement. This is what I would read behind that. Okay, so going a bit lower into our newsletter, we can find crude oil. And by the way, you can also see that there are some clickable links. Okay, and since not all of you have access to the email, just to make sure everybody got access to the information, like for example here you can get courses. So I am highlighting on the screen the direct URL, tradewithufos.com/courses, for you to go take a look at the courses that are available on our website, which by the way grants you access for free during a period of time to those UFOs that you see here, which are extremely powerful. Okay, so we are moving now to crude oil. I am changing the market as we speak. And as we are changing the market and moving to crude oil, we're going to do the market analysis, which is now a thick blue dot when it comes to the climate. So we are dealing with a confirmed climate to the upside on crude oil. So there is a statistical advantage of going long, but at the same time, from a statistical point of view, we have reached candle number 14 out of what statistics would suggest a normal thing to be of 6.73 candles moving up. And we are now dealing with 14 candles moving up versus 6.73. So we have surpassed by almost double, actually more than double, what normal is. In other words, we are hitting a 2-standard deviation of price extension, which probably represents, a pause on crude oil or a retracement. Okay, now having said that, the on-field orders to sell are very far away. The on-field orders to sell are very close at 120.36. So if that crude oil pauses and goes back down, when it gets in here, we may get for a day or two a red climate followed by a blue climate again. Or if that turning point was to go just a bit deeper, at 111.96, we got another very large pocket of buy orders, where from there we would expect crude oil to go back up and resume based on the location of those on-field orders. Okay, so things to know: speed of movement, implied volatility of options on crude oil futures are currently pointing at 44.37%. Again, when we reverse engineer the options pricing models, we conclude the expectation for the speed of movement of crude oil is 3.4 points a day, or 7.49 points a week, or 15.59 points a month, either up or down. Very good. Let's go and take a look at the next market, which is going to be gold. Okay. Also, during the presentation, I talked about trading apps. I talked about trading courses a moment ago. I would also like to highlight our live trading sessions where we do the coaching. So courses, the way we think about it, courses equals knowledge, where you take the knowledge and you put the practice, and you practice. Now the knowledge becomes a skill. So how do you practice? You want to be supervised. You want to have a coach around you so you can ask questions. You can avoid mistakes that you make that you don't even know you make, because we all do that in no matter the field when we are learning something new, isn't it? So in order to take care of that aspect of learning trading or improving your trading abilities already, so we are doing those live sessions. So you can take a look at the coaching page, tradewithufos.com/coaching, to take a look and find out more about the things we do. The next market we are checking, as I was saying, is gold. So with gold, you can see that we are dealing with an up climate, which is also not confirmed. Notice the thin dot. It's not thick, it's thin. So the market is not confirmed, the climate is not confirmed. Notice the price movement. It's a really boring price action going nowhere. But again, notice what happened a few days ago when oil went into the green UFO below, immediately started going higher, didn't reach the opposing much higher red UFO at 1962. But that may happen anytime, or maybe what needs to happen is that gold drops to the UFO and then rallies to that red UFO. So all of these type of price movements are indeed possible given the detection of unfilled orders in those price zones thanks to our UFO technology. So something to be kept in mind. At the same time, it would be wise to wait for a little bit more evidence of price movement because so far the climate is not confirmed and therefore we don't have a statistical edge. When it comes to buy orders, we are talking about 1834A. When it comes to sell orders, 1967, which is that value for buy orders and the upper red value for sell orders. Volatility, we're talking about GVZ, which is the implied volatility measurement for options on gold futures, which are pointing at 16.04. So if we reverse engineer options pricing models, we're talking about 18 plus points a day, either up or down, 41 plus points a week, either up or down, 85 plus points a month, either up or down. That's the expectation for price movement. Very good. And now we are moving into the dollar index, okay, which is going to be the next market. And also, I wanted to highlight that many of the things that we do, apart from meeting today, here during this pre-market session, this before the bell 3D market commentary that we do. Apart from this, we also do many things in our social media pages. Could be our LinkedIn page, our Facebook page, our Twitter page, our YouTube channel, you name it. So you can go ahead and take a look. Linktree then slash trade with UFOs, and you can take a look at more of the things that we do in our social media channels. And maybe you like us, maybe you follow us, and all of the above. Anyway, the dollar index, let's move to the dollar, okay? And as we look at the dollar index, okay, beautiful, 2 days ago, price came to the red UFO, and as expected, from there, price started falling. So again, this is exactly what's happening at this moment in time with gold. That's very relevant, okay? You can see cryptocurrencies going up a little bit in the last couple of days. Why? Because gold is falling. How did you know? Because of the red UFO. Again, understanding the market environment is key as you prepare for your trading day. So what's the climate with dollar? Well, with the dollar, we are dealing with an up climate which has been running for 4 candles, where statistics suggest 4.92 is the normal thing to happen. So having this up climate maybe for another day or two would be quite normal. I mean, 1 standard deviation, 68.4% of the cases, right? But expecting gold to go back down, it's probably more likely given the red UFO reaction and given the fact that, tomorrow is going to be 5 out of 5, basically, and therefore the duration of this climate is reaching its statistical end. So again, if the climate was to fall and get to the green UFO from there, again, given the fact that unfilled orders are waiting to get filled, we would expect a price movement to the upside, potentially going to reach that red UFO, or maybe even just react a bit, just to have new green UFOs added to the market, and from there have another push to reach the next red UFO. So this is the market environment that we have at this moment in time. And the price points for buy and sell orders, as you can see, is 102.8, 167, which, as you can see, coincide with what we have on the screen. Volatility for those markets, 8.50%. We are getting this from EVZ, which is options on the Euro futures, and that represents 0.55 points a day, either up or down, 1.21 points a day, a week, either up or down, 2.51 points a month, either up or down. And finally, the last market I would like to analyze for you is the Bitcoin. When looking at the Bitcoin, since we are dealing with a less regulated market compared to other markets, it's quite interesting to analyze the chart of the Bitcoin futures. So we get to understand or maybe extrapolate or extract some additional information in the form of volumes and things of that sort. And that's the market I'm presenting. Obviously, given the fact that Bitcoin futures, works in tune with any other Bitcoin, obviously my analysis is applicable to all the other Bitcoins. Okay, but anyway, we are talking about a down climate with Bitcoin. We just started going down, and very interestingly, as we speak, a red UFO just showed up. Sell on-field orders have just recently appeared, located at 29,000 to 31,000 plus. And the interesting part is that there are no buy orders all the way to 23,000. So if this pocket of sell on field orders is strong enough to push Bitcoin down, we may be ready to see another fall off, another sell off, pretty intense one, all the way to 23,000 on the Bitcoin before we have another little bit of a breather to the upside. That's what we have on the charts. Speed of movement, implied volatility, BVIN point at 72%. That is 1,398 points either up or down in a day, 3,000 per week, 6,000 plus up or down in a month. Okay. Very good. And the last one we are about to conclude here is the economic calendar. So I'll just zoom in a little bit here. So what's happening today? We have ECB press conference. Obviously very interesting, information to be released. Has a lot to do with interest rates, as we know. All of this, it's happening as we speak. The numbers have not been updated yet. Maybe if I was to refresh the website, it's already updated, but all of this is happening as we speak. Okay, so very interesting, even though probably will have a greater impact on the currencies, and therefore the dollar, more than on the US equity markets. Okay, and tomorrow, interesting numbers here with consumer price index. Obviously, everybody talks about inflation, so very important stuff coming in. Unemployment number in Canada. So again, things to watch. Things to watch that when they act in the market, they will be reflected in the form of UFOs and changes of climates that we can then measure, quantify based on probabilities, and therefore trade safely. Anyway, my friends, it's been my pleasure as always to be joining you. Hopefully you guys are having fun in those pre-market sessions that we run. Hopefully that is the case. If not, feel free to connect with us and request what is it that you would like to know about before the market opens every day, and we are happy to readapt and readjust our content to help you the most we can. You guys take care, and see you next time. Bye bye, everybody.